Have you ever looked at your calendar and just felt like every single month has some kind of pre-packaged reason to spend money? Well, you're not imagining it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden blueprint behind our year of spending. I mean, it's a constant pressure, right? It starts with New Year's resolutions that, need a new gym membership, then it rolls right into summer vacation, and before you know it, you're in the holiday marathon. For the average family just trying to cover the basics, this constant drip of expected spending can feel less like a celebration and more like a financial treadmill you just can't get off of. And the thing is, the pressure starts almost immediately. The year is barely underway and suddenly, boom, it's Valentine's Day. We're told we have to show our love with flowers, dinner, gifts, and it all adds up to nearly $200 per person on average. For a family that's already watching every penny, that's a real hit. And honestly, that's just the warm-up act. Okay, let's fast forward a few months to May. For Mother's Day, the expectation and the price tag climbs even higher. We're talking an average of $259. Now, it's a beautiful idea, of course, but you're seeing the pattern, right? Another big pre-scheduled expense is dropped right into the calendar just when families might be trying to save up for the summer. And then the grand finale, the winter holiday season. We're talking an average of almost $900 per person. When you start adding all of this up, you see this pattern of major financial demands, and they are spaced out almost perfectly throughout the entire year. So here's the key takeaway. This feeling of constant expense, it is not an accident. It's a part of a meticulously designed economic engine. We're talking about a system that generates over $8 trillion in consumer spending every single year. And what's really fascinating when you look at the data is just how consistent it is. Look at this. There's no such thing as a slow month anymore. Every month, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars. From January clearance sales to the early holiday creep in October, there is always a strategy in place to keep that money flowing. This chart just brilliantly illustrates the peaks of that whole system. Most of us think of December as the only huge shopping event. But look at August. Back to school has basically become a second Christmas for retailers. And November, with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, that's the official launch pad for the massive holiday spending marathon that takes over Q4. So you have to wonder, was it always like this? Were our grandparents on this same relentless cycle? The short answer is nope. So how did our calendar, which used to be guided by seasons and cultural traditions, turn into a strategic retail schedule? This slide shows the huge shift. See, originally, holidays were tied to real things: harvests, historical events, religious observance. Their timing had absolutely nothing to do with shopping, but their modern purpose has been totally reshaped. Now it's about creating demand, stretching a single day into a multi-week season, and even inventing brand new spending events from thin air. And this brings us to the core concept of this whole thing, the engineered calendar. This isn't some conspiracy theory, it's a real, well-documented economic strategy. It's the process of taking our cultural traditions and systematically reshaping them to make sure there are no lulls in consumer spending. It keeps that economic engine humming all year long. So how do they do it? Well, it follows a pretty simple three-step playbook. Step 1, create demand during the quiet times. Think about how Valentine's Day was pushed to fill that gap right after Christmas. Step 2, extend the seasons. Christmas shopping starts in October now. You see Halloween candy out in August. And step 3, if there's still a gap, just invent a new holiday. Hello, Amazon Prime Day in the middle of July. And this playbook is just so effective because it taps directly into our own psychology. It turns events into these gift-giving rituals, which creates social pressure for us all to participate. It uses urgency with one-day-only sales to trigger our fear of missing out, or FOMO. And it ties all of it to powerful emotions like nostalgia and love, which makes spending feel like an essential part of the celebration. And here you have it. This is what the finished product looks like. The entire year broken down into 4 strategic quarters. Q1's got the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day. Q2 is jam-packed with Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduations. Q3 is anchored by that huge back-to-school season. And Q4, well, that's just the non-stop marathon from Halloween all the way through New Year's. There are literally no gaps left. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The system is so successful that a month without a major marketed spending event is now the exception, not the rule. Every single part of our calendar has been optimized to get us to consume.
So the next time you feel that pressure to buy something for an upcoming holiday or a big sale, you'll know it's not just a tradition, it's part of a much, much bigger design. Now, seeing the blueprint doesn't mean you can't participate, but it does give you the power to choose how you do. So the real question is, will you see a calendar of celebrations or a calendar of expenses?